Так. День первый.
The water's cold.
It's a fjord. You're not going swimming.
Boo. You're such a wet blanket, teddy bear.
You know I don't like it when you call me...
Edward Charles Hardin, Esquire.
Will you promise to behave on land?
Don't I always?
Lissy, promise.
Oh, piffle and phonus balonus, Teddy. You ought to know better than to ask. Yes, I'll behave. I'll be a proper young lady. I shan't run or climb things or laugh too loud or call anyone old bean. Aside from you. So, do you think we'll find your Betty in, what did you call this village? Gravewick? Groovewick? Greywoke? It's an odd language. I don't much care for it. Perhaps Betty found herself a burly Viking warrior and went native. Put horns on her hat, drinks mead out of a chalice, eats goat meat off the bone, that sort of thing.
Господи.
Teddy, how do you know Betty's still here?
I just do. In her letter, she wrote about...
But that's months ago. She could have gone anywhere.
Without writing, or telegraphing her editor in New York, she wouldn't do that. Betty's...
Oh, the cat's pajamas, the bee's knees, Little Miss Perfect.
Alice, you're talking about my sister.
Fine. I'm sorry. Elizabeth Sidarb. We all love her dearly. And Teddy Bear, Edward, we will find her. Betty's fine. Why, we'll see her as soon as we get to shore. She'll shower you with kisses and berate you for coming all this way from Hanover, Massachusetts to the middle of absolutely nowhere Scandinavia way just to chase
Norway.
her down. Everything will be Jake, old fruit. Is that it? Is that Groovewoke? It looks so peaceful and beautiful and so desolate, like a place built for ghosts.
Finally. I don't think I could do this for much longer.
Can't you row any faster? I'm getting frightfully bored.
How about you take over, Alice?
You slay me, Teddy, old bean. Was that thunder?
Still distant. The boat will be in safe harbor by the time the weather arrives.
So you say. But I say put your back into it, because we're sitting ducks out here. Quack, quack. It's so quiet. Where is everyone?
Probably working. I know it's a foreign concept to you, but that's something normal people do.
Hardy har har.
The Fretland farm is up the hill somewhere.
Up where?
I believe it's that farmhouse, all the way at the top.
Hot dog! Let's ankle!
Hold on. Let me read the letter from Mrs. Fretland first.
I'll meet you up there, old sport. I want to explore. Last one's a skunk's tail.
Be careful. The ground's muddy. You could slip and fall.
See you in 2 shakes.
Dear Mr. Hardin, we would like to extend an invitation to visit our home. Trouble to hear of your sister's disappearance. No news to share. You'll find our farm on top of the hill. I hope I got that right. Look forward to seeing you here in October. Yours faithfully, Anna Fretland. Well, I'm here. Where are you? Did you make it to Grovik, Betty? And why did you pick this forlorn hole under the mountains?
Глубоко вздыхает.
Also sprach Zarathustra.
Так.
On my way.
Было бы неплохо и
Righto.
этого перевод.
Step to it, teddy bear. Where are you?
I'm waiting for you at the farm.
Так, я старый человек, как-никак, можно и
Are you
отдохнуть.
coming?
Just taking a break.
Hurry up. Storm's getting closer.
Пошли. Драуген. О, скриншоты можно стимовски делать, круто. Точно забанят. Так, ладно, второй раз отдыхать не буду.
Alice!
I'm up at the farm.
Блин, ничего, реально отдыхать надо. То, что он вздыхает.
Lissy!
I'm by the farmhouse.
Нифига себе, она быстро сбежала, кстати. Ну? Не, ну судя по тому, как он вздыхает, отдыхать надо.
Seriously?
You're not the one carrying a suitcase.
What took you so long?
I'm not 17.
Nor are you 70. Put some spring into your step, old sport.
Did you see the flag? It's at half-mast. Someone died.
So this is it, huh? Nice digs. But seriously, where is everyone?
Nice dicks. Понимаю.
This is starting to creep me out. They must be
They might be out fishing.
Well, we didn't see any boats, did we?
If they are out in the fjord, they'll have to come in soon. The rain's picking up.
You first, old bean.
Hello? Anyone there? Mr. Fretland? Mrs. Fretland? This is Edward Charles Harden, the American. We've exchanged letters.
Maybe they went on holiday and left the door open. Give it a shake and a rattle.
I can't just barge into their home.
It's not a crime if you're invited.
I'm coming in. This is Mr. Harden. Hello? Is anyone home?
This house is as empty as a bird's nest in December.
This is the kitchen. Hello? Anyone there?
Hey, you want to check out the upstairs?
Certainly not. I'm going to sit down and wait for the Fretlands.
Maybe there are extra comfortable chairs upstairs. Well, I didn't want to go upstairs any... Oh, this is nice. Charmingly rustic. The Boston Beaumont would pay a pretty penny for this setup. I thought foreigners lived differently. This is almost like an American home.
People are people wherever you go.
Thanks, Proust.
The books are all in English.
Isn't that a bit odd?
Mrs. Fretland is Scottish, though she grew up in Alderson.
Have you been secretly communicating with Johann's winsome wife, Edward, dearest?
Certainly not. She was the one who wrote me, because Mr. Fretland's
I
English
was
isn't as...
only joking. Lighten up, old sport. Don't be such a pill. Look! Family pictures. They must be the, what did you call them? It's on the tip of my tongue.
The Fretlands.
Right. Anna and John?
Johann.
This is honestly not what I'd pictured. They're very presentable. Not at all like turnip farmers.
They're not turnip farmers. That must be Johann Fretland, master of the house.
What makes you think he's the master of anything? It's 1923, Teddy, old boy. Women can vote.
Тише. Так.
Johann went and found himself a delectable bride.
Alice, please.
What can I say? She's a minx.
Anna Fretland is a respectable woman. Her letter was courteous and professional.
Didn't you say she was a city girl? It must have been awfully hard to adjust to life in the sticks. I can relate.
Hanover isn't the sticks.
Says you. Old Johann's a bit wooden, isn't he? Like someone put a stick
They're
up
posing for a
up his
photograph.
rear end. I say, loosen up, Johann. I'm sure you two stiffs will get along famously. I'm guessing their daughter is the master of this house. She's cute as a button. I can't wait to meet her. She's guaranteed to be more fun than you.
Betty might be with the Fretlands, wherever they are.
Wouldn't Anna Fretland have written you?
She might have. We left Hanover a month ago. There's the Stave Church.
Do you think that's where they've all gone? Maybe there's a very popular funeral.
The flag was at half-mast, but no sign of life out there.
Where do you think they've gone?
The Fretlands.
The Fretlands, the Hansons, the Jensens, all of them.
I'm sure they'll be back soon.
It's like a dead land. As though its soul has departed.
Так, что у нас по порядку идет?
Johann Fretland exits Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
So the brothers parted ways?
Johann sold his share to focus on farming.
Well, that must have put a damper on their relationship.
Tragic accident befalls the Fretland Brothers Mining Company.
What happened?
The mine collapsed, killing 3 workers, including Arne Fretland, Frederick and Johann's younger brother.
That's awful. How old was he?
19. Operations were suspended after the accident. Foreign investors out of Frederick Fretland's mining company. Dire financial consequences for Fretland, who must have had a difficult time after his brother Johann Fretland pulled out earlier this year.
Johann was smart to exit when he did.
The timing is curious, like he knew something was about to go awry.
Бах, скримак. Ё-моё. Так, ну,
Oof.
красавец.
That's a grim sight, old bean.
I'm exhausted and soaked to the bone.
Let's get you to bed.
We'll wait for the Fretlands. It's only courteous. Betty.
Have you gone screwy again, Teddy? That's not Betty. That's...
Scarf. I'd know it anywhere.
It doesn't look like anything to me. It
She
just
bought it
looks
in
like...
Bloomingdale's the Christmas before last. When she came home that year, she showed it off, dancing around the sitting room until I got dizzy watching her.
I think you're misremembering. She couldn't make it home that year. Again.
No, you're wrong. I'm sure she was there.
Whatever. It's not like you pay any attention to me when Betty's around. I might just as well be a ghost.
Look, it is her scarf. It even smells like her perfume. Shalimar.
But what if that's not?
She's here. I'm finally going to find her.
That's great, Edward, really. I wouldn't want you to get your hopes up. I mean, where's everyone gone to? Something's not right, I'm telling you.
No?
Teddy? Edward, what's wrong?
Lightheaded, that's all.
You're having another spell. You know what happens when you exert yourself. Sit down.
I just need to catch my breath. Just for a moment.
I want you to lie down. Lie down and close your eyes. It's been a strenuous day. What with the rowing and the dragging of the suitcase up the hill.
But what if the Fretlin...
I'll keep an eye out. I promise. If they come home, I'll wake you. Now, lie down, close your eyes, breathe deeply.
I'm just going to...
Shh.
Elizabeth? Is that you? Betty? Lissy? Lissy, are you here? Lissy!
Понимаю.
Hello?
Тише.
Hey, who's there? Betty? Elizabeth? Wait! Where are you, Lissy?
Валера шутник, га.
Lissy, there's someone outside. It might be Betty. Are you here, Lissy? Are you in here, Lissy?
Так. Может все-таки открыть?
Are you in here, Lissy?
Ладно.
Where are you, Lissy?
Так,
Lissy!
кат-сцена.
Are you upstairs?
Потому что я не стримил миллион лет.
Who's out there? Hello? Betty? Lissy? I'm not alone.
Так, прикольно.
I can hear you!
Так.
Who goes there? Wait!
На что отвечать?
Someone there? Betty? Hello?
О, господи, коза.
Betty, is that you? Are you there, Betty?
Я говорю, я не стримил долго. Я пропустил, что произошло. Он подскользнулся.
Shit.
Оп, очки пропали.
Elizabeth, are you there? Alice!
The boat, Edward! Where's our boat?
Lizzie! Where did you go? Why did you leave me?
It stopped raining and you were sleeping, and our boat, it's gone.
The boat... What? How?
Maybe you didn't secure it properly.
I pulled it up.
Сомневаюсь.
I don't know. I thought I tied it securely, but... Did you see Betty?
Did I see... What are you talking about?
I think... Betty... It was Betty. It was her. It must have been her. I saw her face in the window, and she vanished into the dark, towards the sea. You really didn't see anyone?
I haven't seen a single soul. Are you sure it was her and
Yes.
not...
I mean, I saw her face, and it looked like her.
Well, if it was her, why did she run away?
I don't know. It's getting dark. Back to the house. And tomorrow...
Tomorrow's another day, Teddy Bear. We'll figure it out. Right now, let's get you cleaned up. Look at you. You've got mud all over yourself. And then you really need to sleep. You must be exhausted. Come on.
Понимаю. День второй. По-любому в какой-то момент проснусь, а тут этого платка не будет.
Teddy, come outside. It's a beautiful day.
Да, не отжимай у меня зритель.
I just about given up on you ever waking up. Sleep well?
I dreamed of Betty. She was in the garden, and she called for me.
Ты где вообще?
How about
Ah,
you, Lizzie,
come on.
dearest? Oh, you know me, old fruit, wide awake at first light.
The Fretlands didn't come home, did they?
They did not. There's no sign of anyone. Aside from last night's Mistwalker.
I've been thinking about that.
What?
It was dark. Maybe I just saw a shadow.
Chasing a shadow. That's very unlike you, old boy. Usually you scurry off in the opposite direction.
I didn't get a good look. I'm not even sure there was anyone there.
Кого?
Well, there must be someone here. And I'm not talking about ghosts. Or goats. What was it you said yesterday? Maybe they're keeping an eye on us from out in the fjord.
I'll take a gander.
Что
The
спасибо,
Fretlands will
говорю,
be home
кого?
soon.
А, приятно,
And Betty's
извините, понял.
here. I know it. I feel it.
If you say so, Teddy Bear. Have you had your noodle juice yet?
I'm not rummaging through their cupboards.
You'll be a pill without your tea and toast, old bean. We need to get you sorted.
I'm not hungry. First
А, да
point
нафиг
on the
надо,
agenda.
господи.
Find the natives.
A mission! Hot dog! I'll scout ahead. I'll meet you down by those houses.
Let's uncover your secrets, Grovik.
Так. Понял. Следующего нету. Предыдущего тоже. Да, тут Валера вообще это спортсменка, комсомолка и просто умница. Бегает трусцой тупо.
Up here, Teddy.
Кого?
It's such a beautiful day.
Че на
You
дереве
could
забыл?
bottle and sell this air in Boston. It's frankly medicinal.
Careful you don't fall.
You suck the fun out of everything, old boy.
We're far from any doctor. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
That's not very likely, is it?
I thought you were scouting ahead.
What do you think I'm doing? Vantage point.
На
Like on a
втором.
pirate ship.
На
I can
твоем.
probably
Ты
see our
имел в
house
виду?
in Hanover from here.
Did you check those buildings?
Knocking on doors isn't a scout's job, old bean.
There must be someone around.
Only one way to find out, old sport. Did you check all the houses?
There must be someone around.
Only one way to find out, old
Да
sport.
все,
Did you check
это
all
уже
the
было.
houses?
Да я не знаю, я тебе говорю, я пост увидел с небольшим описанием, мне понравилось, все, я купил. Это играю.
Hello? Anyone here?
Why, hello, Mr. American. Please come in for a cup of tea and biscuits.
You're not helping. Also, they drink coffee here, not tea.
Savages.
Тупо дикари.
No one home?
Ну что, зайти посмотреть, ну? Чё,
Hello?
понимаю.
Who's there? Hello? Anyone home?
Чё скрипит-то?
September 21st, 1923.
Так.
Vi desperate.
Угу.
Lissy, found something here.
Escalated from words to stones. Blood has been spilled. The curse haunts us all. There is no hope left in Gudsforlata. Good. God. Right. In this God-forsaken place. The death of the Jiminy.
Смерть?
Death of the children was the end of Grovik. Whatever remained of our souls departed with them.
You should see this, Lissy.
The letter just trails off. Was never sent.
Какая-то рука не очень. Ничего тут. Все, больше ничего. Нет, так нет.
Did you see
Человек
this door
кушает.
closing?
It was just the wind, teddy bear. You're as skittish as a pussycat. There's one more house. Third time's the charm.
Anyone home?
Unless they're playing hide and go seek, I'd say that's a no. Three strikes, you're out.
I don't think anyone's been home for a while.
Посмотри,
Someone
Валер, какая
painted the word
спортсменка.
traitor on one of the doors. And there was a letter. It sounded foreboding.
Is Still think everyone's out fishing?
No.
I saw some sheds down by the water. There's the general store. Church.
In other words, time for some sightseeing? Well, it's a bright and beautiful day, and we have nothing better to do.
Так, ну это куда-то...
What on earth are you doing?
Handstands, Teddy! My record is 2 minutes. I'm working on 3. Just go on ahead. I'll catch up. How about we don't go back to Hanover and stay here instead?
And how would I survive?
Hunt? Harvest? Forage? People have survived here for centuries. Why can't we?
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
I could learn.
Applesauce.
Why lock any doors? I can't imagine they have a problem with punks and hoodlums.
The sign says they're closed, but I thought maybe... They had a memorial service for the accident in the mine. On July 24th, in the village church.
For something that happened 20 years ago?
It still affected their lives. The telegraph is out of order.
Well, there goes my plan. NOSOS.
This was 2 years ago, but the notice is still up.
How can it take 2 years to get something like that fixed?
Симулятор
They
бега.
couldn't afford it? Or couldn't get anyone to come fix it?
Well, this place really is off the map. Here be dragons. Or Draugans, I guess.
Ну,
The
Nice
ferry
and
route is no longer operating.
Rats!
Mrs. Fretland already informed me in her letter.
I know. Still warrants a resounding rats.
I wonder why it stopped running.
Look around. How many people live here? 20? 30? That can't be enough for a ferry route.
Things got quieter at... There's no damage to the rope.
I don't know what that means.
Nobody cut it. I guess the knot could have unraveled on its own.
Didn't you say you used a sailor's knot?
I'm a scholar, not a fisherman.
So who took our boat? A ghost?
There must be a logical explanation. It's safe to say no ghost in the night stole our boat.
If you say so. But then who were you chasing after last night? A shadow?
I don't know. It was probably all in my head.
было бы не круто. Шо еще?
Betty would have taken plenty of constitutionals here. She loves the outdoors.
How so? She's a city girl.
I'm sure she gets tired of Manhattan. And when she was little, she loved playing
А
in
ты
the
еще
garden
хотел,
back
чтобы
in
я на
Hanover,
английском
especially
играл?
around the pond.
Are you alright?
I just miss her.
Дали бы, что ли, фонарик какой на всякий случай. А,
A
лодка.
boat! Teddy! Hot dog! This is our ticket out of here!
А,
Not
дырявая.
without Betty. Besides, there's a hole in this boat. It'll sink before it gets 10 yards from shore. It's curious. The state of the boats.
Да,
It's
что
like they
такое
stopped
нормально.
taking care of them.
Seems short-sighted. How would they fish? Or get anywhere at all? What's this?
Remnants of the mining operation.
What, mine?
There was a mine here, but it closed down 20 years ago.
I was just checking for a sense of humor.
А,
Still nowhere to be found.
вагонетка.
What did they use this for?
Bringing the ore down from the mine before it was loaded onto boats.
So, diamonds? Gold? Or just boring old silver?
Iron ore.
Or what?
Rock, which contains iron
I know.
deposits that...
Okay, Edward.
Min Om. It's a memorial.
Так.
3 men died when the mine collapsed in 1902. Georg Hatlestad, Niels Framberg, Arne Fretland.
Оп,
See, this is
потемнело.
what working a regular job. Did you say Fretland?
The younger brother who was mentioned in the article. He was just 19.
How long had he been working in the mine? That's too young for a dirty job like digging into rock.
We're in the real world, Lissy. Most teeners don't have the luxury to idle away their days with games and witty repartee.
Ouch.
The newspaper said the accident forced the mine to shut down.
What does any of this have to do with us?
I still don't know why Elizabeth came here,
And you think it has something to do with this mine?
or with what it did to the village. Maybe.
I don't understand why they just leave this here. Like an altar to adversity. It's creepy.
Rustic superstition. Perhaps they believed they'd attract bad luck if they moved it.
Where do these tracks lead?
To the mine. Where else would they go?
I don't know. A castle up in the mountains? Where the frost giants live? And this is how they receive their monthly offering of meat from the villagers. Goat, I hope.
Так. Он тут даже показывается, где мы. Удивительно. Оп. И рельсы обрываются.
No trespassing for traitors.
Cool. Want to jump the gate and explore what's on the other side? What do you say?
The sign says no trespassing for a reason.
Come on! There may be trolls, or at least more houses. Where's your sense of adventure, old sport? Don't you want to see where these tracks go?
I've had enough adventure on this side of the fence. Besides, they wrote no trespassing for a reason.
You're such a terrible bore, Teddy Bear. I'll wager 1,000 clams you'll jump this gate at some point, if you believe Betty's on the other side.
Frederick Fretland. Who are these traitors he refers to?
What now? We've looked everywhere.
There really doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Maybe we missed something. An important clue. How about the general store? We haven't been inside yet.
It looked deserted, but worth another look, I guess.
В магазинчик? Ну, пошли в магазинчик. Что это за параша?
What if everyone turned into a pebble? And they can't speak, but they see and
Понял.
feel everything
Стиральные
that happens.
принадлежности.
There's something very wrong with your head.
Wouldn't it just be awful? Why, I'd be a murderer.
Что ты хочешь от меня? А? Отдохнуть? А, нарисовать. Кто я такой, чтобы получать сабов? Так. Сейчас будет какой-то красивый рисунок, короче. Понимаю. Можно еще подольше порисовать? Подожди. Понимаю. Ну, по идее, я могу сесть и дальше рисовать, оно будет... А, теперь уже просто сесть. Так. А, не, он рисует. Ну подожди, но он будет рисовать там что-то. Ладно, попозже. Закончим рисунок. Ну, я думаю, что он будет что-то рисовать, но заканчивать. Даулер, что б я без тебя делал, господи, ты чё? А это ворона, твою мать. Так, надо, короче, как-то завалиться в магазин попробовать. Так. Скримак?
Is that? Lizzie, come here. It's Betty's hat.
Так.
She was here. She could still be in there. Betty? Betty!
Are you sure, Edward? I mean, it's just a hat. Is it even a hat? I'm not
I know
sure.
my sister's hat, Lizzie. I have to get inside.
What about the breaking and entering part?
I could care less what they call it.
Че, выламывать что будем? Судя по всему, нет. Надо искать какой-то другой вариант. О,
Here's an open window.
You seem eager to break the law. I approve.
одобряю.
It won't budge.
Nah, don't be a milquetoast.
Well, it's stuck.
Attaboy, Teddy. You can do this.
Так, давай. А, тянуть сильнее.
I can't believe I'm actually breaking. Whoops, Daisy.
Оп. Упасть.
Oh my, Teddy. You're such a sap.
Так, ну вставай, давай. Войти.
Tanty, world traveler, cat burglar.
A cat burglar would, by definition, enter a building on a higher
Jeez.
floor.
The state of this place.
Oh, Betty,
Edward,
I hope you weren't here when...
is this blood?
Not necessarily human blood.
Well, that's all right then. What does it say? Barn murder? Someone murdered a barn?
Barn means child. And mortar, that's...
Child murder. Edward, they murdered a child?
Someone thought so.
Probably the same someone who vandalized the store.
I'm not sure how I feel about being in here.
Don't be ridiculous. We're all alone. What else do you suggest we do?
Ты. Сука. Все, Лер, ты уже не ответишься. Написал уже к 100.
Damnation. The hat's in here.
У тебя есть
Calm down,
нога,
old boy.
бей.
Anyway, how's a hat going to help us?
Who knows what else is in here?
Тупица.
There could be more clues.
Alright, okay. Everything's Jake. We made it into the store. I'm sure we'll find a way through that door.
Тил Саймон, Фрарут. Да, головой тоже нормально. Ну, Васян, привет.
Out of order.
Why
Телеграф.
hasn't it been fixed?
Perhaps there wasn't much demand for it anymore.
Понимаю.
S
О,
O
С.
S.
Ключ, может быть, тут? Чего?
What are you doing?
Looking for keys.
Your life of crime continues.
There's a note.
Is it written in Viking runes? What does it say?
It's from Simon.
Джек Путет
Yai
определенно.
put it means I
Лучше
put.
звучит.
Nurkel is key.
Угу. Я кладу
Casa.
ключ.
I don't know what that word means.
He put the key in the casa?
Casa. I wish I had my dictionary. The note's addressed to his father.
So the key was moved. But where to?
Somewhere safer. Or more convenient.
Can we really trust your translations? You only started studying a month ago.
I spent the summer reading, and I had a lot of free time on the ocean voyage.
Come on, how much could you possibly pick up in a few months?
You know my mind, it's a sponge.
Так.
These were never sent.
How long have they been piling up?
I received Mrs. Fretland's letter in June.
A couple of months. Perhaps the world forgot about Grovik.
The key's in the casa. Whatever that is.
Don't look at
Так
me.
в кассе, подожди. Логично же, не?
Casa.
So that's what it means. Cash register.
Так. Гениально.
You're a genuine gangster now, old fruit. Don't worry. If you get busted, I'll come visit you in the big house.
Так,
Wasn't
ключ.
there supposed to be a key?
Here it is.
Так, а чего этот ключ? Какие интересные звуки, кстати говоря. От двери, что ли, вот это? Да, Валера, деньги взять нельзя, ты прикинь? Так. Шляпа. Шляпа, ну, ага.
It is her hat.
Teddy, I'm not
Betty
sure
was
that's...
here. And not long ago.
Okay, but if that is her hat, what's it doing in a locked storeroom?
Another breadcrumb.
That's not an answer.
I know for sure she was here. That's what matters.
You know best, Edward. So, what now? If this is a breadcrumb, where's the next one?
There must be a reason her hat's in this room.
Дайте почитать.
that?
что?
A handwritten note.
I'm not blind. What does it say, you silly goose?
It's hard to read. I'm not sure my translation will be... Johann, you... Nectar. Refuse. You refuse to speak to me, so I write this letter instead. It's from Frederick Fretland to his brother. Simon did not... Bloody hell. Simon did not murder your Ruth. He was fond of his cousin.
Ruth. Ruth is the daughter of Anna and Johann, which means the little girl in the photograph at the farmhouse. Oh, Edward. The Fretland girl was murdered. This is simply awful.
Simon was working at the farm while I tended to the store. I would have seen him had he passed on the way up to the cliffs.
They thought Simon killed Ruth. His own cousin.
Ruth was... what's that word? Playing. Ruth was always playing on the rocks below the church. She must have fallen by accident. The note ends there. Frederick never finished it. And Johann never read it. Not that it would have made a difference. If Johann
The
thought...
mob showed up for Simon. His father would have tried to protect him.
September 17th. You would have been here, Betty.
Rocks below the church. Isn't the church right above us? Edward, come look at this. That's the cliff. Right there. The one in the note? I bet you a million clams.
Where?
See for yourself.
Так.
I guess that could be where...
Let's check it out.
No, Lissy, wait.
Чего ждать-то? Чё там наверху? А, водопад.
This way. I found it, Teddy. The cliff. I'm standing right below it.
What are you doing? This doesn't concern
A
us.
little girl died. We're staying in her home, for God's sake. Are you completely without heart?
Так, а как ты
Get
тут
yourself up here,
забралась?
Edward Harden, right this minute. Come on, it's an easy climb.
This looks very dangerous.
Oh, you're a big boy. Start acting like it. It's not Mount Everest.
I don't know about this. Whoops-a-daisy.
Ну чё, реально будет что-то происходить вообще-то?
What is this?
Where little Ruth died.
You're being morbid. And this is a distraction. I'm here for Betty, not because some girl
Edward.
got herself...
You insensitive brute. You're like the Tin Woodman, no heart. You know, you've grown cold and mean in that horrid study of yours. With only books and bugs to keep you company for years and
Я общаюсь
years
с
and
клопами,
years.
между прочим.
There are other people in this world, you know. It's not all about you. You're going to do this. If not for Ruth, then for us. We're going to figure out what happened to the poor girl. Together.
Something struck this bush. She must have landed on it when... on her way down.
That's ghastly, Edward.
That's been here a while.
Didn't you say it happened over a month ago?
You'd think her family would have replaced it with fresh flowers. I've seen all there is to see. I'm going back.
You can't leave. We might have... Where are you going?
Туда. Чё тут еще что-то? А,
Is that
камень.
blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
That's awful. I think there's something behind it.
Да, там.
Can you move the rock aside?
Что это за... хуйня? Кукла какая-то.
It must be Ruth's.
Отлично.
Where's the head?
Maybe the killer also decapitates dolls.
Hold on. This pin. This is old. Very old. Looks like something from the Viking era.
We are in the land of Vikings.
This could be 1,000 years old. It does not belong in a child's doll.
Who cares? Ruth is dead and you're obsessing about a rusty old pin? Let's go further up. Maybe we'll find more clues. Come on, old sport. It's
Ну,
not
а
far.
как ее убрать?
Can you wait just 1 minute so that I can catch my
Раз.
breath? Huh. Did you follow the same path, Betty? Or am I just stumbling through darkness?
Господи. Чуть не обосрался.
You can see clear beyond the edge of the world.
One
Oh,
second.
Teddy Bear. We need to take you out walking more often.
So, the girl fell from up here.
Was pushed, you mean? Can you see where she fell? Seeing as you're so concerned about me falling out of trees, I wouldn't want to risk falling off a cliff.
If she fell headfirst on that rock, she'd have died instantly.
Edward, honestly.
You wanted to learn more. This is you learning more. She hit her head and fell into the bush where I found her doll. Happy now, Alice?
I'm not. What was she doing up here in the first place?
Playing? She was a child. Children play in dangerous places.
There must be more to it. Let's find out where this path leads.
No, absolutely not. I don't have time for this nonsense. We're running out of daylight, and Betty's still... You're still out there.
Ветки какие-то сломанные. Валер, ты тут?
Lissy, slow down. I can't keep up with you. Who knows what's up there? It's not worth the risk of falling and breaking something. Lissy?
Загугли вообще, кто
Are you
такие
there?
драугены. Прям по-русски. Опа-на.
Teddy,
My word.
Здорово.
Look away, Lissy.
is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
This is just ghastly. What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when
Stop.
your mother
Don't.
drowned herself? Sorry. Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick,
Понял.
and he's too old to be Simon.
Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran, and
This happened later.
there's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up, and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact. There's nothing more to do here. I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
Does it look like he's resting in peace? You're just going to leave him hanging? You're an insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. This is... It's tragic, but really none of my
Oh,
concern.
Betty, Betty, Betty. Always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Ну, не смотрю на тебя, дурочка. Ну, что? Что ты хочешь?
What if that was me up there? Would you care then? All you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for
Бетти.
your Betty. What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far.
Очевидно. Чего? Ну, сейчас-то хоть что-то такое напряженное.
I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse.
Какая твоя мастер, Валер, ты о чем? Так. О,
Where are the Fretlands, Edward?
It's been 2 days. If they're not back tonight,
They're not coming back.
perhaps they left after their daughter died.
Was murdered, you mean? Isn't that what we think happened? Penny for your thoughts?
Perhaps she fell by accident.
So you don't think it was murder?
It's difficult to say with any certainty.
А, Twitch мастер.
The
Да
boy
ладно.
could have pushed her.
You're really not helping.
Я тебе говорю, я стримлю раз в
Can we
год.
talk about this tomorrow? I'm sorry.
You're exhausted.
I buried a corpse today, Alice.
I know. I'm sorry. Why don't you sleep in the guest bedroom?
The couch is fine. The Fretlands could still come home.
Alright. Just don't come crying to me if you wake up with a crick in your neck. I'll be up for a while, if you feel like talking.
А зачем мне стримить не раз в год? Ну-ка, я могу выйти и пойти порисовать? А мы вообще где? А, понял. О, Господи. Нет, так нет. Сравнил вторую рапиру и первого властелина.
The two brothers married twin sisters, Anna and Margaret Taylor. That's the Grovik stave church behind them.
All those hopes and dreams, ground to dust by misfortune.
Так.
Do you think Simon killed Ruth?
It's not important what I think.
I don't know what to believe. Sometimes children do monstrous things.
Которая руинит мне, ага.
It's almost painful to look at this photograph now. Their whole world fell apart. Ugh, I can't bear to think about it.
Сколько я уже стримлю? Час?
Now that we know what happened to Ruth, this empty house is even spookier.
It's a house, nothing more.
You know better than most that souls can linger. Especially if they died
There's
in
no such thing as a soul.
life force, ghost, whatever. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
The only ghosts are in our minds.
Says you.
I really thought I'd find Betty today.
Well, I told you not to get your hopes up, Edward. I mean, we just got here. It's a big place. She could be anywhere.
It's just the thought of her alone out there. In the dark.
She's a tough cookie. You're Betty. Tougher than you, teddy bear.
That she is.
Так, чё, все, ничего не хочу. Что тут за письмо? Понимаю. Так. Хати, Валер, хати. Что это за некрономикон?
I almost forgot putting this aside when I lit the fire. A Christmas present to Ruth. From Simon.
Simon. Simon gave that book to Ruth. But who burned it?
Johann or Anna. If they believed Simon killed her.
But they were friendly, right? Simon and Ruth. Before...
I imagine so.
I still don't understand why the brothers had a falling out.
Whatever drove a wedge between them, it was big.
Так, это я читал. Ну-ка, в зеркальце что-нибудь интересное будет.
You do look exhausted. Go to bed, Edward. I'll tuck you in.
I feel restless.
You should sleep.
I'm not sure I can. But yes, I'll try. In a bit.
Скоро. То есть что-то еще надо сделать. Почитать.
These headlines make more sense now. Johann sells his share, and the cave-in occurs shortly thereafter, killing 3 people.
Including the younger brother.
The investor pulls out, leaving Frederick with the bills.
Oh, I feel awful for everyone. Losing a brother, losing the business.
There were no happy endings here.
Все, теперь можно ложиться. Что тут еще появилось?
The 2 brothers married twin sisters, Anna and Margaret Taylor.
Это все было.
That's the Grovik stave church behind them.
All those hopes and dreams, ground to dust by misfortune.
Ой, блин. Так, понял, да, Алер. Тише. Обратно. Да блин, сейчас бы кнопку ту ужать. Так, это... Ага. Симон тоже понял. Вообще я бы читал это как Саймон, ну, перевели как Симон, так Симон. Draugen Волц. Хорошая песня. Музыка. Если быть точным. Так, тут все вроде бы. Кого? Понимаю. Так, заперто. Ну, собственно, и все. Нет, не все. Теперь можно уже спать.
Johann and Frederick Fretland. Thick as thieves, before things took a turn.
Don't you always say that much of our pain is self-chosen?
I wonder about that.
The mine must have been a big deal for Greylock.
Grovik. An opportunity to do more than live hand to mouth.
What a blow it must have been to lose it all. So the brother who owns the store
Frederick.
was angry with Johann before Ruth. Because
Because of the mine. It all comes back to the mine.
Завтра все-таки полезем в шахту. Алиска.
I feel restless.
you should sleep.
I'm not sure I can. But yes, I'll try. In a bit.
Вот еще что.
What are you doing?
Betty will want these back.
I don't think it's healthy.
Not now, please. I'm exhausted.
По-любому проснется посреди ночи и будут галюны, что это настоящая это Бетти.
Quite the day, huh?
I'm ready to pass out. Where will you sleep?
I'll be up for a while. My mind's simply racing.
Don't stay up late. Wake me if you hear the Fretlands arriving.
Of course. And I'll keep my eyes open for any ghosts that might want to haunt you in your sleep.
There are no...
Hush now. Sleep.
Брылчит. Интересно, уже есть фулы с ней? День третий. Оп. Ночью проснулся? Нет, утром. Может, это тот же вечер?
Alice?
Right up the stairs, Teddy.
Даже слышно, как она ходит сверху.
Teddy? Is that you?
Да.
Alice?
Upstairs. This is her room.
Hmm?
Are you paying attention? Ruth. Can you imagine? One moment you're living a perfectly happy life, and then nothing. Darkness. Forever and ever. Maybe there's something here that can tell us what happened to her.
This is a waste of my time.
We might be the only ones left to tell her story, Edward.
You're just being melodramatic.
Мелодраматично.
I'll help you look. There's still no sign of the Fretlands.
Maybe they left town after Ruth died.
What's the point of this? I should be looking for Betty.
I hate you sometimes.
Draugen.
Hey, the undead monster from those folk tales you read.
What an odd book for a child to have.
I don't know. Children love scary stories. This looks interesting. Read some of it to me, please.
In Norwegian folklore, the appearance of Draugen, the reanimated corpse of a drowned mariner, heralds death. Draugen haunts the black seas in a shattered boat. The beast has a man's body and wears a sou'wester, but instead of a head, there is tangled seaweed, and the revenant's chilling cry freezes mortal blood to ice.
Mortal
Draugen
Kombat.
has the power to enter the dreams of the living. If you wake from such a dream, you have been spared, though someone close to you... That's enough of that. It's nonsense, of course. Not something a child should be reading.
Do you think Draugen took our boat? Maybe he's out there, on the fjord, waiting for nightfall so he can return to shore.
No.
Your soul lacks poetry, Edward Charles Harden. I pity you.
What am I looking for?
Anything out of the ordinary. Something that could explain what happened to Ruth.
This is real life, not a whodunit by Agatha Christie. There won't be a convenient series of clues leading to a tidy conclusion.
Says you. Ruth was an artist.
This is very primitive.
Have you ever met a child, Edward? She wasn't Monet, she was 8. Ruth never finished this. What does that spell? F-O-R-B.
For Banelson, the curse.
Who's that figure supposed to be? It's creepy. It looks a bit like the Draugen in her book.
A figment of her imagination. But the box she drew... It looks like this box under her desk.
Really? Let me see, pull it out. What is this?
I believe this might qualify as actual treasure.
Is that Norwegian money?
Sort of, but ancient. Viking coins.
Are they valuable?
Not in terms of monetary value, but historically. They belong in a museum.
Looks like Ruth had her own private museum.
Why would a child have these artifacts?
She must have enjoyed collecting and playing with them.
These are much too precious to play with. She should have given these to an adult.
She was a child, Edward. To her, they were just shiny toys. Wait! The pin! On the doll!
Да.
This is where it came from. Her collection.
But where did she find these treasures?
A dig, a gravesite. Wherever she found them, she wanted to keep them hidden.
You think someone found out?
These items wouldn't necessarily be worth much, except to a historian or archaeologist.
What if this is how... I mean, if someone learned she'd been collecting treasures, they might be willing to do terrible things.
This is a waste of time.
Edward, you horrid man! Sorry. Please stay. I can't stand the thought of Ruth tossed aside because you're too busy to care.
There's nothing here.
What about these drawings? They could be important.
There's nothing here.
What about these drawings? They could be important. She made her bed that morning. Before she...
Or her parents did. It doesn't matter. It tells us nothing.
Why are you like this today? Betty's not the only person in the world that matters.
She matters the most to me.
Ain't that the truth?
There's nothing here.
What about these drawings? They could be important. This must be the village church. That's Ruth and her family on one side of the aisle. Simon and his father on the other.
A community divided.
А какие еще тут рисунки есть?
There's nothing here.
Да, это я
What
уже
about these
говорил 100
drawings?
раз.
They could be important.
А, господи, еще. А, еще.
She found something.
Where's that supposed to be?
A cave. Or the...
Mine. It could be. But what did she find?
Her Viking treasure. Of course. That must be Ruth and Simon's fathers.
Perhaps. They weren't on the best of terms.
They look like they want to kill each other.
To a child, maybe it looked worse than it was.
Children are more insightful than you give them credit for, Teddy Bear. There's a story here. The treasure box, the drawings.
The overactive mind of an imaginative child.
Well, she didn't imagine the Viking artifacts. You shouldn't be so dismissive. The drawings could be her way of dealing with traumatic
This
events.
is what happens when I read you the principles of psychology. You get notions.
You say that like it's a bad thing. Ruth was troubled. The village was troubled, and...
Она...
Is that a bell?
Church bell. Someone's here. Maybe Betty.
Why would Betty ring the church bell?
Perhaps she's in trouble. I need to get to the church right now.
Isn't it more likely to be the person you saw the other night?
I told you, I'm not sure that was anything. Come on.
Go ahead. I'll catch up with you before you get there. I need a minute to think about...
Так, туда, видимо, мне пройти. Ну-ка. Ну, пофигу. А, подожди, это ж не тот рисунок, да? Это старый. Да, это старый. Ладно, потом. Угу. А, нельзя, видишь. Это что? Кто? А, это еще он. Козел.
July 24th. Memorial service. A commemoration of the accident at the mine this past summer. No service.
All these fresh graves. Do you think that maybe
No.
Betty...
I'd know.
But
You wouldn't understand. Elizabeth and I, we have a bond.
God, Edward, your obsession with her is really starting to grate.
Why board up a church?
To keep on fishing?
God is not here.
Well, of course he isn't. You won't find God in a church. God is the wind in the trees, the grass between your toes, the brook that runs
That's
through.
nature, not God.
Who did this?
Someone who'd lost their faith.
Can you peek through the boards? See anyone?
No,
Listen! The bell! They're still in there!
Понимаю. Что сделать?
Hello? I heard the bell.
This is giving me
I'm
the
here to help.
heebie-jeebies.
These boards look flimsy enough to break.
Давай. Чего?
Look at that. The Ethel becomes an Edward. I didn't think you had it in you, old fruit.
Be quiet. Betty? Are you here? Hello? This is Edward Harden. I'm looking for my sister,
Stop
Elizabeth.
shouting, Edward. We're alone. There are only ghosts here.
There are no ghosts.
I don't know about that. What's this rope for?
The bell.
This is the bell we heard ringing?
I don't see any other bells.
So you have to stand here and pull this rope to ring it.
Yes.
But there was no one here. You didn't see anyone, right?
No. No one.
Ghosts. I'm telling you. It's ghosts! So what happened to the hunchback of Grovik?
They must be here still. There's only the one exit.
Maybe it was the wind.
A church bell's too heavy. It can't have been the wind. I mean,
Ой,
Лысый.
рука. А,
Look.
перчатки.
Betty's gloves. They are definitely Betty's.
Oh, for
She got
Pete's
these
sake.
in Boston before she left for New York. She bought them at Woolworth. I remember the day she... She's here.
Where? And why would she leave her clothes lying around? It doesn't make
Breadcrumbs.
sense.
She's sending me a message. She knew I'd recognize her gloves. Her hat. She's left a trail for me to follow, like Ariadne's red thread.
We're not in a lab.
Betty will have left more crumbs.
Betty, you're turning into such a pill.
Согласен.
What happened here?
The sign on the door. God is not here.
Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths. That bell still bothers me.
Didn't you say it was the wind?
I guess it could have been the wind.
Once you eliminate the impossible, etc., etc. I've never seen you read the Bible before.
I've read the Bible many times. It's an important historical document. For he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Did you just translate that into Old English?
I happen to know the verse by heart.
You still manage to surprise me sometimes. Jesus looks sad.
What reason would Jesus have to be happy?
Don't be blasphemous.
Given that this is all fiction, blasphemy is a contradiction.
Heretic.
What are you doing? We're in a church.
Thought you didn't believe in God.
I do believe in civility. The church book, a record of births and deaths.
So we can find out what happened to the people in the village?
And, Elizabeth. I mean, if she was dead...
Her name would be in the book.
Vandals. Tore it to pieces.
I don't think the missing pages left the church. Look. How many pages are missing?
I counted 4.
They're probably all still here. I know. Let's make it a competition. 1-0 to Team Me.
Иди.
I wanted you to find that one. I know what a rotten loser you are.
They considered this a sacred place. For them to destroy it. This was an act of desperation and anger.
The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you. What's that?
The last sermon that was held here.
What does it say?
The vicar's handwriting is hard to decipher, and the language. He talks about the village being divided for 20 years. This sermon was held on the anniversary of the accident this past summer. He's asking the congregation to help heal old wounds, to forgive, move on. Something to the effect of, you sit in separate aisles in God's house.
Like Ruth's drawing. I told you, she was perceptive.
Here's something else. Many of you believe Grovik was cursed 20 years ago. God has not cursed you. This curse is of your own making.
Ruth's drawing mentioned a curse. What do you think that means?
It means they believed they were cursed, and that they needed something or someone to blame for their misfortune. It sounds like Grovik was split in two, between those who stood by Johann and those who supported Frederick.
Because of Ruth?
This sermon is from before that. No, this is all about the preceding 20 years of division and disagreements. Tilly Verandra.
Edward?
Forgive each other. It addresses Johann and Frederick directly. But I wonder if they were even here.
Remember the wedding picture? They were close friends once. How could they allow their grudge to escalate until...
You call each other traitors, but the only thing you've betrayed are the bonds that unite us.
Found another one. You get it. It's right here.
Где? О, тут много
Just
имен.
one more page missing.
А где же еще одна? свеча. Может, тут где-то?
Where are you going?
Я и сам не очень понимаю. Темнота.
Where are you going?
Там, судя по всему, то же самое. Лиси, давай ищи последнюю страницу. Я понятия не имею, где она.
We need to find all the pages.
О,
The missing pages must be here somewhere.
подожди, только что проскочила колокола. Блин. Так, листать нельзя, картина. Тоже ничего интересного.
The final dinner.
The Last Supper. Who taught you about the New Testament?
I pick up on things. Most folks aren't heathens, like you.
Но я не вижу ничего. Я уже и так и сяк все пообошел. Может, все-таки выйти надо?
Where are you going? Teddy, where are you going?
Так, ладно, все-таки. Зовет она меня обратно.
Isn't this a fire hazard?
They're not always lit. Each candle represents a single prayer.
That's a lot of prayers.
There were a lot of deaths.
Ничего не понимаю. Серьезно.
2 for 2. A tie. Good job, Teddy, old
Stop,
bean.
Lissy. This is not a game. Betty's out there.
Of horse feathers. Stop being so gosh darn tedious, Edward. Bitty, bitty, bitty. Will you ever shut up about your precious Betty? Put those pages back in the book, and I'll stop trying to cheer you up.
На стримах сиди,
This
потом
book goes back
получишь
years.
когда-нибудь.
It lists births and deaths. Here's the third Fretland brother. The one who died in a cave-in. Someone added the word for Banelson, probably quite
Вот
recently.
у меня весь
What
чат
does that mean
модеров
again?
будет.
Curse. That word is all over this book. Not just the men who died in the mine, but other deaths in the last 20 years.
Ruth's drawing and the sermon both mentioned a curse. What do you think it means?
I don't know. There were surprisingly few births.
Perhaps they blame that on the curse as well.
Look here. Ruth Elsa Fretland. She was buried in the cemetery. And the next entry, Simon Fretland. Now this is interesting.
Simon is dead? Oh, that's
Это
dreadful.
же было уже
He
написано, что
drowned the day after Ruth died.
ли.
Probably no coincidence.
Ты что, уже вернулся
Who
или
was
ты не
scribbled
ходил?
next to it?
Ward?
Murder.
Who killed him? Ruth's father? Or the mob that trashed the store?
It doesn't say. After the children, a half-dozen deaths in a single week.
The curse.
It's listed as the cause for every single death.
Maybe there really was a curse.
Primitive superstition.
Понимаю.
But something changed after Ruth and Simon. It might explain why there's no one around.
Edward, if it killed everyone, how's that not a curse? What does that word say? Next to those names at the bottom. For a
Traitor.
Edward? What's wrong?
Final entry. There's no name. Alice, what if...
Oh, Edward, no.
Betty,
It doesn't mean she's...
she's not dead. She can't be. I'd know. I'd know.
Teddy.
I need to see the grave for myself. It's not Betty. Betty's still alive.
Teddy? Where are you going? Don't leave me! Edward!
You better
Ты
not be
что?
here, Betty. I'll never forgive you.
Ну, а как вообще смотреть?
Where is it?
Не понял.
This one. It's unmarked.
What are you doing? Have you gone completely mad? Edward, stop it!
Thank God. It's not her.
Без гроба.
It's not Betty. It's not her.
Oh, Edward. What have you done?
It's not Elizabeth. I was so afraid.
You're a monster.
But I had to be sure. If Betty...
To hell with your Betty! When did she ever shed a tear for you?
Don't talk about my baby sister like
Or
that.
what? Or what, Edward? What will you do? Ignore us? Banish us?
Кого
You've
нас?
spent your entire life chasing her. When are you going to do something useful with what's left of it?
Quiet! Just... leave me be.
Fine.
Понимаю.
Alice? Come back. Don't leave me alone. Please. Come back. I need you.
Понимаю. просто думаю, чё она так быстро
I was
перемещается?
afraid you'd left me. Now listen to me. No!
Я нажал стой, надо было нажать не буду.
Lissy. Hey. Lissy, please listen to me. I didn't mean what I said.
Of course you meant it. Everything's always about Betty. Betty, Betty.
I care about you both.
Until it really matters. Then it's obvious who matters more.
I thought she was dead.
I wish she was!
Dumb.
You deserve to be alone.
Please, talk to me.
What's there to talk about?
You can't keep running away from me.
You think you own me? That you control me? That you get to decide how I feel and what I do every minute of every day? That I'm your puppet? Your little plaything? Well, fuck you, Edward Charles Harden! I never should have come here with you on this pointless chase!
Now, be reasonable. What are you doing?
Ну, господи.
What I should have done years ago. Maybe now you'll learn to appreciate us.
Now listen to me. Please, listen. Hear me out. Don't do this. You can't do this to me. I need you. I'm not whole without you. I can't lose you. I can't live without you. Don't, please, don't, no. What? No! Oh, Alice. What have you done? Please, be all right. Please, don't.
You make me sick, Edward. Your mother and father would be ashamed. Elizabeth would be ashamed. They did not think you deserved their love, so they abandoned you.
Don't.
Oh, my child. We are all that you have, and we love you. We are here. With us, you are never alone. Do not forget.
No, never. Never. I never forget. I am never alone.
День 4. По-моему, пора закругляться.
Wake up, Edward. Stop hiding. Without us, you are nothing. You cannot hide from us.
Where's Lissy?
Alice is not here.
Bring her back. Please. I need her.
Alice does not love Elizabeth like you do.
She loves me.
Not like I do, Edward.
I'm so tired. Please.
What do you want?
I think of you so often. You have no idea.
You just want me to forgive you so that we can keep looking for your precious, perfect Betty.
She needs us.
She never needed you, Teddy Bear. And she certainly doesn't need us.
I can't find her on my own.
It's just too bad, my darling Edward. Because we're done playing second fiddle to little sis.
Wait, don't go. I'm talking to you, Lissy. Oh. Please. Listen. Lissy. You can't keep vanishing on me.
Try me.
Why are you so angry?
You do not know anger, Edward.
Did you ever meet my father?
Alice does not want to speak with you.
And what about you? Are you going to help me?
God helps those who help themselves.
I don't need God's help. I need Lissy.
Do you, though? Did you ever?
What? Of course, I...
Так.
Lissy? Lissy. Don't go. Alice. Hear me out. I depend on you both.
You can never depend on other people, Edward.
I'm not sure you count as other people.
Everyone leaves, one way or another.
You don't. You can't.
Is that a challenge?
Stop playing games.
Are you ordering me, Teddy Bear?
I'm asking you.
Didn't your father always tell you to stand up for yourself? To be a real man and not a sissy? Maybe that's why he put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger. Kaboom! He was so disappointed about what his only son had turned into.
You're a monster.
Takes one to know one. Old fruit.
Lissy, get back here. I gave you this jacket. Betty. You were here. Lissy, I'm tired of chasing you. Alice, be reasonable. I'm trying to talk to you. Lissy, look. Her jacket. I'm sure it wasn't here yesterday, which means
Christ,
Betty was
Teddy.
here. Perhaps when we were out yesterday. She
Betty,
must have...
Betty.
Betty.
You love Betty more than you love us. But don't you see? What has Betty done that we haven't? What can she do that we cannot? We've always been there for you. Why do you keep looking for her?
She's real. You're not.
So?
What? You decide what is real. We are real to you.
We'll never be the same.
She does not want you.
Who are you talking about?
Why do you think Betty left? She was sick and tired of us. She wanted to escape.
Like Mother,
drowning herself because she couldn't stand being around us.
Like father.
Bang! Right in the coconut.
Stop.
You drive them all away, Edward. All into death.
But not us. We're always here for you.
I beg you.
You are never alone.
Stop! Leave me alone, both of you!
You want to be alone?
You really want to be alone?
Fine. You're alone.
Good.
Listen. Come back. Please.
Чё такое? Так. День 5. Надо заканчивать.
Betty? Elizabeth? Is that you? Are you upstairs?
Надо уже позвать Бетти.
Betty, I'm coming.
Понял.
I knew you were here. Wait there. I'm on my way. Betty? Betty,
Так.
are you in there? Open the door. I'm coming in. Stand away from the door. Ready?
Понял.
No. No, 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 no. Oh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I thought it was you, Betty. But who? Anna. You said this was a gift from another unlucky suitor. It was precious to you. You wouldn't have left it here unless... a signpost. A breadcrumb. But what's so important about the Fretlands? I will figure this out. I will find you, I promise. It's from Johann, addressed to his wife. Did you notice the handwriting, Betty? It was clearly distraught.
Knock ere knock. Enough is enough. After decades of strife, I pray that God will... Tilly, forgive me. I am tired of secrets.
For 20 years, I have kept my silence about our discovery, but my silence has only led to misfortune,
And my cowardice has only led to death. I will make Frederick pay for what he has done to us, for what they have done to our Ruth. When it is over, I will let the ocean take me to you and Ruth. May God forgive me. Anna was already dead when he wrote this. He had no one else to confess to. What now, Betty? Johann went to confront his brother, probably at Frederick's farm. And then? You followed Johann to Frederick Fretland's farm, and then to the mine. You wouldn't let this go, Betty. You'd follow your story to the end. All the way to the end. Did you go to the mine, Betty? Is that what you're trying to tell me? So where is Frederick's farm?
Так, ладно, надо сохраняться. Ага, где нам? Ладно. Нормально. Всем спасибо за просмотр, всем пока.